Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Trump Trolls Trump. Guess what I'm about to do? Yes, I am going to continue mocking Donald. One, because he has the audacity to keep using my damn name. And two, because that's what we do here. How could we not? He makes it so easy. It has been 306 days since Inauguration Day, so we are going to take a look back at week 43, which makes me feel very old, I have to say. This week, as we all sit down for Thanksgiving dinner, we can thank Donald for the low prices that have led to our ability to have such a bountiful holiday meal. Right? No. In the face of continuously rising prices, the Trump regime only pretends that things are affordable anymore. On ABC's This Week with Jonathan Karl, economic advisor Kevin Hassett pushed the, quote, prices are down, unquote, bullshit by using Donald's favorite argument. Just ask Walmart. Of course.
The president claims that Thanksgiving costs are down 25%. I mean, does he know that's not true?
Well, if you look at Walmart and the few places that put out their prices of Thanksgiving baskets.
Wait a minute. I got to stop because the Walmart comparison's like not. I mean, Walmart had a Thanksgiving package last year. They've got a Thanksgiving package this year. The one this year contains much less than what the one last year took. So that's why the price is less. Look, we got a chart here. Last year, it was 21 total products. This year, it's 15. Total number of items in those products was 29% now. 29, now it's 22. There's more generic brand stuff. So, I mean, Thanksgiving, if you're going to the store to buy groceries for Thanksgiving, it's going to be more expensive this year.
I really don't understand where you're going in the sense that Joe Biden gave us 20%
He's not
inflation.
president. Donald Trump's president.
No, and you want us to fix the hole that Joe Biden does right away.
Why does the president tell everybody?
The prices went up so much under Joe Biden, and inflation is way down. Inflation is about half what it was in December.
No. Also, how dare you read a chart that has facts and data on it? Listen, we all know that of course Thanksgiving dinner is less expensive this year because none of us can afford to buy anything. There you go. That is the easiest way to deal with the affordability issue. Make everything so expensive we just can't buy anything. Which actually, if you think about the logic of that. Think about how much money you save by not spending money on anything. Who needs food? It should go without saying that Kevin Hassett is nothing but a yes man, a shill for Donald. And I want to play you one more clip. I would say that this is a guy who sold his soul to the highest bidder, but that would suggest that he had a soul at some point in his miserable life. And quite frankly, I don't think he's smart enough to broker that deal anyway. So even though Hassett should be ashamed of himself, he works for Donald, and it is a prerequisite of any job you take working for him that you do not experience shame. Hassett's job is to go out there and lie to the American people. That's what he's for. So let's watch as he explains himself, or at least tries to CNBC's Squawk Box host, Joe Kernan.
I guess that when people think of who would be the least independent to the Trump administration, people think it would be you, Kevin. But you're talking about independent.
I just totally reject that. I mean, the fact is, well, there's a truck going by. The bottom line is that you do the job that you have. And if somebody's going to go in and they're going to be the Fed chair, then their job 100% of the time is to run an independent, data-driven Fed. And right now, my job is to be at the White House and to serve the president every day. It's just a different job.
To serve Donald. Yes, that's what government employees are for. Also, maybe I owe Hassett an apology. He's intelligent enough to identify a truck. That was cool. Anyway, he's not a serious person, and he cannot justify himself or the fact that he and Donald are lying to everybody. One of Donald's other barely sentient yes men is Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. He spoke to Fox Day TV's Brett Baer this week. When asked if Bessent, as a financial expert, would consider taking over Jerome Powell's job, which just sent chills down my spine, actually, Bessent told Baer who he thinks would make the best Fed chair ever. I think we should have a contest. Who do you think that person might be, according to Bessent? Watch.
You're not taking that job.
Brett, there are, I think, 340 million Americans now. I think I can safely say that I will not be the Fed chair. I think President Trump will make a great Fed chair. He has an open mind. He understands monetary policy better than a lot of people on the Fed.
That is the best way to keep the Fed independent, to keep all of our agencies independent, have Donald Trump in charge of everything. Because that's worked out really, really well for like the Kennedy Center, for example. These people understand nothing. But if your goal is to destroy the American economy, I agree. Make Donald head of the Fed. But he has so many jobs. You know what? He is in a position to challenge Marco Rubio for the person in the federal government wearing the most hats. Truly. I mean, Marco Rubio is allegedly Secretary of State. I think he's in charge of alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. He has some other job I can't remember. And of course, his most important job is to be in charge of the Diet Coke button on the Resolute desk in the Oval Office. Donald has many, many jobs too. Tweeting, golfing, grifting, whining. So luckily for us, he's probably too busy to be Fed chair. Anyway, relief is on the way because the Trump regime insists that prices will drop in time for the holidays. I mean, maybe not Thanksgiving, but in time for Christmas, right? Or New Year's? Well, actually, the answer is yes, but next year. So prices will drop by the end of 2026, maybe 2027. This is not much comfort to the average American family. If one more Republican ever claims that Democrats have waged a war on Christmas, I may lose my mind. Over on Fox Day TV, a team said they are finally admitting that prices are soaring and Americans are experiencing real pain. But chin up, guys. They have some advice for their viewers about how to survive Christmas this year, which again is going to be practically unaffordable. Let's watch together.
Budget, budget, budget. You need a plan. Also remember, adults don't need gifts, okay? Focus on the people in your life who are age 3 to 18. Grandma doesn't need slippers. If they don't live by you, don't get them a gift. Now's not the time to spend and break the bank sending packages across the country, Dana. Focus on the people in your life, ages 3 to 18.
Fuck Grandma. While we're at it, fuck anybody under the age of 3. They're not going to remember any of this shit anyway. Make Scrooge great again. Seriously, who needs slippers or presents or food of any kind on a holiday like Christmas? Nobody. Actually, I have a brilliant idea about how to make Christmas truly affordable. It's not my original idea. I'm stealing it from Jonathan Swift, who wrote an essay called A Modest Proposal. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, check that out, and it will show us how to deal with the affordability issue in a way that I'm pretty sure American oligarchs and tech bros who are funding Donald's obscene and gaudy ballroom will absolutely all be able to get behind. Now, Melania and Usha Vance spent Wednesday in North Carolina. They were visiting Camp Lejeune and Marine Corps Air Station, New River. I'm sure the service members were thrilled to have them. They spoke to about 1,600 Marines and their families, praising the quiet strength of military households, about which those two women know absolutely nothing. They also stopped by local schools to talk about AI and to help make Elmer's glue cardstock turkeys with the kids. Wow. I'm not a jealous person, but I'm so jealous of those children. Could you imagine a more fun thing to do than glue cardstock turkeys together with Melania and Usha? I'm kidding. What a nightmare. But as for those cardstock turkeys, those are probably the only kind of turkeys they and their families will be able to afford this Thanksgiving. So let's check in to see how it went. I'm sure it was full of joy and laughter and real emotion.
Just visited Dr. Olson's AP research class to talk.
It actually got worse from there because they fixed the tech difficulties and Melania actually started talking. Before we get to our last segment, please take a second to give this video a like and share it with somebody you hate. Or, better yet, somebody you know hates me, because that will be fun for us. Sharing the videos really helps us get the word out. And also, we are like razor close to 500,000 subscribers. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And if you believe in our mission, keep watching. Thank you. As prices climb and the holidays are getting closer, everybody is looking for somebody who will tell them the truth and show some form of empathy for how hard it might be for people to get through these holidays without having to skimp too much, so they can maybe buy grandma slippers. For a little comfort, I think where better to turn than those horrible Nazis at Fox State TV, where they insist that none of this is Donald's fault. Because who really gives a shit what the American people are going through, right? The only person whose feelings we care about, obviously, should be Donald's. To suggest that any of this is because of him is unfair.
First of all, I'm not going to tell the American people how to feel because I think Joe Biden made that mistake of saying, hey, it's transitory, you're not feeling it. But it has only been 9 months. And the bill, the big, beautiful bill, has not, it was passed, but it's not been implemented just yet. There's still some time for that. So he's giving people, and then when it comes to some of the energy policy, all of that has not been implemented just yet. So I'm not saying hold on a little bit, but I am saying it's kind of unfair.
I'm not going to tell you how to feel. So here's how you should feel. You should feel that your experiences don't matter. What matters is protecting Donald from the truth about what a miserable failure of a president he is. I'm not going to tell you how to feel, but I am going to tell you that if you're just whining and complaining about the fact that you and your children can't eat food after 9 long months, well, you're just going to have to wait a little bit. Suck it up. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us for this week's edition of Trump Trolls Trump. The material never ends. So we will, of course, see you next week. Have a most wonderful holiday season, and we will be back. Bye. Please take a second and like and share this video. It'd be awesome if you could subscribe to the channel. If you're listening to us in podcast form, please follow us and give the show a 5-star rating because it really does help other people find our content. Thanks. Fuck Grandma.